There is a hotel on the Bulgarian coast where we have an apartment with just one large room, a king-size bed, a refrigerator, large windows on both walls. It's on the ground floor, and once again, both walls face the hotel's parking lot. Despite this, it's ideal for me alone because it's close to the beach, which is why I've spent some of my summer holidays there. 2 months ago, I spent a week there with my ex-boyfriend, and then 3 to 4 weeks alone. The hotel's owners, according to my ex, are a bunch of creeps. Whenever we left the room, we had to walk past the reception area where the elderly father, his daughter, and his son, Crumb, used to sit all day doing nothing. When you walk by, everyone falls silent and stares at you. Every single time. I was used to it, but my boyfriend was upset, especially when he noticed Crumb smiling at my ass. When he got the chance after that, he used to stare him down dead in the eyes. My ex returns to the city, and I've been alone for 3 weeks. The night is hot, so I open both windows wide open and close the curtains above them to keep from being glanced at. After all, I'm on the ground floor, and my bed is directly beneath both windows. Someone is monitoring me when I wake up in the middle of the night. This happens for the following few nights. I'm easily worried and nervous, but I'm alone there, so I tell myself to relax and that it's just my crazy mind scaring itself. So it's around 1 a.m. and I'm falling asleep when I hear footsteps. And the steps come to a halt at one point, fairly near to the outside. And I can hear everything because the windows are open. I'm currently sitting in bed listening when I realize that the frickin' doorknob is gently going up and down. I was a little out of it, but I kept my cool and told myself, nice job girl for closing the door. But that person had access to the door since I heard some keys clacking, so I ran to the closet. The door opened. The person walked in. I was terrified and nearly teared up. But luckily, that person didn't check anything further and went outside. I called my dad and told him the situation, with tears all over my face. He told me to stay calm and he would be on his way to pick me up. I remained silent in the closet for 3 more hours. The next day, we were having dinner when my father proceeded to tell me that he had done his own little search and requested the hotel owners for security camera data. They examined the ones in the parking lot and noticed a man walking around. They looked through old recordings from previous days in which they all witnessed a stranger approaching my window and peering through my curtains for 15 to 20 minutes. At that point, my heart stopped beating and I gave my dad the wildest eyes ever. It was Crumb, the creepy guy at the hotel. The owner then recognized his son and explained to my father that he had mental issues, pleading with him not to press charges and promising that they would take better care of and look after him. So my good guy dad didn't press charges, and it appears like we're selling the apartment. So is anyone interested in purchasing it?
Story time of how I almost got arrested for selling my mom's underwear. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it was sent to me on Instagram. My mom is a total MILF. She used to be a video vixen back in the early 2000s. She even used to model and had a huge following. By the way, yes, I am her son. She's in her late 30s now, but she's still banging. So I basically found a way to monetize her hotness. The idea came to me one day when I was looking on the internet on how to make money online. Well, I found a bunch of articles about how people sell their foot pictures for money. This totally blew my mind, and I thought I can definitely do that with my mom's feet. So I started out by taking pictures of my mom's feet, but she wasn't having it, and she even got suspicious and asked me why I was doing that, so I basically had to stop that. Then I found an article about women selling their underwear. I knew this was what I needed to do. My mom had her fair share of underwear, so I thought she's not going to notice if you go missing. What I'm about to say is really gross. Yes, I started stealing my mom's dirty underwear and selling them online. I sold the first pair for $50. After that, I started stealing my mom's underwear all the time. So I started stealing my mom's underwear to sell them online. So basically, I started keeping track of every single time my mom went to shower. After she was done showering, I would make sure to go and steal her underwear, her dirty underwear. Then I would take a peek into her laundry basket and grab whatever was there too. In just the first month of selling my mom's underwear, I had made $500. So I started selling even more underwear. And I started selling them for $75 a pop. And this is gross, but some guys wanted my mom's underwear after she went to the gym. Totally disgusting, but those are the ones that I could really sell for more money. One day my mom started getting really suspicious, asking me where I got the money to buy all the stuff that I was getting. And of course she started freaking out because she noticed a lot of her underwear started going missing. Disclaimer, this is not my story time, it was sent to me on Instagram. Well, I didn't know this, but my mom had installed cameras because she was getting really nervous that she had a stalker. So I would go on about my day stealing my mom's underwear. Little did I know I was being filmed every second of the day. There's a knock on the door one day and it's the police. Part 3 is One day there's a knock on the door, and it's the police. They told me they had a warrant to search my house. I called my mom and she came home right away. That's when she broke it to me and told me that she had installed cameras and that she caught someone in the camera stealing her underwear. I couldn't believe they hadn't figured out it was me. Then she shows me the camera recordings in front of the police, and you can totally tell it's me in the video stealing my mom's underwear and putting it in Ziploc bags. And then I would just send it off to these nasty dudes. That's when the cops told me they were gonna arrest me. My mom begged them not to and explained to them that it was probably just a phase I was going through. I basically stayed quiet the whole time because I was not about to incriminate myself. The cops leave and my mom turns to me and starts laughing. She confesses that she set up the whole thing because she knew the whole time it was me stealing her underwear. When I told her how much money I'd made, she said we should keep going with the business. So yeah, we're still in business and we're going strong. My mom's the
Am I the asshole for not acknowledging that I have a sister? 9 years ago, we found out that my mother had a 5-year affair with someone she met from work. My parents divorced and she went to get remarried to the man, Greg. My mother moved her husband and his daughter from a previous marriage into our house, and I lived with them before I left for college. I remained in minimal contact with them until Kylie, my stepsister, joined my company and started working in my department. Nobody was aware of our relations since we had different last names, and I told Kylie not to disclose anything about this. Last Friday, while clocking into work with a few of my coworkers, Kylie came up to me and asked if I could come home for a family dinner. By lunch, our entire department was gossiping about it, and Kylie would confirm their suspicions. Fed up with all of this, I told the department that I do not have a sister. Things died down at work, and I agreed to make it to dinner considering it was my mother's birthday. At dinner, I was bombarded with questions about why I refused to acknowledge my sister at work and refused to even call her my sister. My stepfather Greg told me I was a petty bully for embarrassing Kylie at work and that he has had enough of me mistreating his daughter. He told my mother that my misbehavior was a result of my parents' coddling. He demanded that I address him as my father and Kylie as my sister and to tell everyone at work that too. At this point, I had enough of his relentless chastising, so I told him that all he signed was a marriage certificate and not adoption papers, so I am not his daughter, therefore will not be addressing him as my father. I brought up the fact that I know my dad has created an account for my college fund and paid child support each month, but they use the funds to purchase a new car and to pay off credit card debt. I always found it weird that Kylie never had to get a job to go to college and could afford to stay in a nice apartment during her years there. Kylie was crying by the end of the argument. My mother broke down and yelled at me to stop, while Greg called me an ungrateful bitch. I told them that if they only had the capacity to acknowledge and care for one daughter, then do not expect me to be in Kylie's life as her big sister, and left the house. I guess Kylie posted about it on social media because friends and family called me up. Some told me I was being harsh and unfair to Greg and my mother, who took care of me, as well as Kylie, who had nothing to do with this, while some understood where I was coming from. So am I the asshole for my reaction? My boyfriend has a longtime female friend who's clearly into him, and I don't know what to do. This is gonna sound like the typical insecure girlfriend, but I promise it's not like that. My boyfriend and I have been together for over 6 months, and he's really great. He has a friend that he's had for years who is a girl. Normally, I'm not the type to be all like, you're not allowed to hang out with a single girl alone, but I'm considering telling my boyfriend that he's not allowed to hang out with this girl alone. This girl is obviously so into him, and she definitely wants me to know she's coming for him. She keeps saying stuff like, you don't know him like I do yet. Or, we used to go to that place together all the time long before you guys started dating. She also had cute pet names for him, and I didn't like it, and as soon as I heard it, I told my boyfriend I didn't like it, and he made her stop. Oh my gosh, Josh, remember when we went on a hike, just the two of us? That was the best day. I asked her straight up if she was into him, and her response pissed me off. She was like, I know it's intimidating how close he and I are, but don't worry, you're the girlfriend, I'm just a friend, right? With a smug smile on her face. I got so mad, but I couldn't talk to my boyfriend about it. I want to tell him to cut her out of his life so bad, but I don't know if I can do that. My boyfriend's dad passed away 2 years ago with a heart condition. He told me that his dad was his best friend growing up, so it hit him really hard. That's why he says she's like a sister to him. That's why I don't know what to do. I already asked him to set boundaries, like she can't text late at night or come over to his place unannounced all the time and not interrupting our alone time. He was the only family my boyfriend had. Apparently, this girl really helped him get through it. She apparently was there for him throughout the whole thing. My boyfriend doesn't realize that she's into him, and I kind of don't blame him on that because all of her flirts are subtle enough that he doesn't realize, but enough to get me riled up. I know my boyfriend isn't into her at all, and he's completely friend-zoned her, but it's still so frustrating. I hate to admit it, but she's so good at getting under my skin, and I don't know what to do. I really need some advice.
This is why you should always check under your bed. A little kid named Caleb was getting ready for bed and decided to go brush his teeth. He went to the bathroom, brushed his teeth, and told his mom goodnight like usual. Caleb climbed into bed and watched TV until he fell asleep. Caleb then wakes up in the middle of the night screaming for his mom. His mom, startled, jolts into the room and asks Caleb why is he screaming. Caleb says, "Mr. Bones won't let me sleep." His mom says, "Mr. Bones? That was my monster's name when I was your age." She then laughs and says, "Maybe he's here for me and not you." The lights shut off and the door slams. Caleb stops and stares and said, "He told me the same thing." If you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and follow.